righty, and it's that should must be chilly in Florida. Long sleeve shirts on. Thank you, KJ. It is a bit chilly. All right, so all things fitness. No to XRP. XRP dividend stock. What else do we have here? All things fitness. Thank you for that. Hoop, how you doing, Johnny? How are you? Boston stock. Thank you for that. All right, Get Better Club. All right, KJ Imports. FLNG. Can we all say this at the same time? What the hell is that? I don't know. That might be a good saying for a T-shirt. What the hell is that? FLNG. Flex Limited. Now, who came up with this one? KJ Imports. Okay, KJ. I don't do monthly options. Okay. November, December, February, May, those are months of the year. Okay, now we have two different types of options. Weekly options, monthly options. Okay, a weekly option is something you could trade every single week. A monthly option, you can only do that once a month. That's it. So, no. Sorry. Gabriel! I have a hard time going through 300 different companies trying to find the 1% weekly premiums. Gabriel, I have no idea why the hell you do that. Okay, Gabriel, take a look at this. See, you aren't paying attention to a couple of things, Gabriel. Now, I've seen you were here before. But Gabriel, why would you be going through all 300 companies every week? That just makes no sense. I put all my 300 companies into an EX dividend calendar. And then the calendar separates them by their dividend dates. And the reason why I like dividend stocks is because they have a tendency to go up just before the EX dividend date. And that's what the calendar's for. Because the calendar tells me when they are going to pay their dividend. So I'm not looking at every single stock every single week. So I actually break it down. Here, see each one of these companies here. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. Okay, so this month alone, there's about 30 different companies. That's just this one list, just this 1 month. So I'm only looking to pick up 1% on a weekly basis, and I only want 4, 5, maybe 6 positions. So why you can't find 6 positions out of 300 companies for the month of November, I have no idea why not. Let's take a look. What's this week? Okay, this is the week of the 12th. So what do we have? Granger, IBM, PPG, K-View, Target, Western. I don't know what CHD is. Okay, CTAS, Emerson, Smuckers, Sherwin-Williams, 3M, and ExxonMobil. All this week. You can't find 3 or 4 decent companies out of that? What are buying for options? Okay. Not quite sure what you mean by that. If you could explain that a little bit more detail, that'd be great. I think you should get a shirt that says, interesting. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was a dividend stock for payouts. My apologies, I just joined. Not a problem, KJ. Okay, you're new here. Don't worry about it. What we're looking for is a safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week using nothing but pre-qualified dividend stocks. Those are companies that have consistently increased their profits for at least 2 decades. That's 20 years of consistent profits. Taking a look at either the annual reports or the quarterly reports, each one should say, yay, we made more money this year than we did last year. That's what each one should say. Because that's what I'm looking for. Companies that are consistently profitable year after year after year after year. Sorry, I thought it was a dividend. My apologies, just joined, blah, blah, blah. SoFi is my favorite. Why the hell would SoFi be your favorite? SOFI. Now, who did this? This one. Okay, we're going to go over to Yahoo Finance. You can use whatever financial website you want to use. I use Yahoo Finance. There's Google Finance, the NYSE. There's a whole bunch of them. There's Reuters, the Wall Street Journal. There's the Boston Globe. So many different avenues in which to get financial information. Decided Yahoo. Look, SoFi. Okay, now I don't like SoFi, and here's the reason why. Okay, there are no dividends in the time period. That means SoFi has no dividends at all. So the reason I like dividend stocks is because they have a tendency to be, I'm going to say the word slowly so you'll understand it. Dividend stocks have a tendency to be repetitive. That means they do the same thing over and over again. Well, in the situation that I'm looking for is a dividend stock that has a 10 increase in price just before the dividend. So, if we know when a stock is paying its dividend based on the dividend calendar, because it's tough when they're paying their dividend, and we know that stocks have a tendency to increase in price just before the dividend, it gives us the opportunity to jump in with a safe, predictable trading strategy that we can jump in, jump out, get a nice little 1 or 2% every single week, after week, after week. So if it doesn't have a dividend, how do we know when it's going to move? And if we don't know when it's going to move, why are we looking at it? Because we look every week. This week, 10,616 different companies. That's a lot. How do you decide which ones you want to jump into? Okay. One day in town. SoFi is up 450% in the last 3 years. Okay, you do realize, okay, there are a lot of companies that are up really nicely in the last 3 to 5 years. Wonderful. That doesn't do me any good. Okay, I'm 61 years old. I'm retired. I don't put my money, set it aside, and watch it grow. No. I need cash flow so I can pay my bills. Okay, when you retire, you have no choice in the matter but to figure out where your money's coming from. If you're not making enough from Social Security, well, what about your 401k? What is that doing for you? You don't have that. Well, do you have any other money set aside? Okay, so when you get to the other side of the fence, you're doing 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Okay, the money's got to come from somewhere once you retire, because once you stop working, the money stops coming in. So you got two choices. Learn to invest yourself. That's what I'm doing. Or give it to someone else and let them do it for you. Let's keep on. Barahamani. Okay. AMD. Advanced Micro Devices. Oops, not there. Not there. AMD. I'm going to say no to AMD for this week, Barra. The reason why? Look at where it is. Okay, when I look at a chart, very first chart I want to look at is the 1-year chart. Now, the 1-year chart is going to tell me a whole bunch of stuff, and it's going to take me 3 to 4 seconds to see everything I need to see to decide whether it's going to be a yes or whether it's going to be a no. Okay, simple. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at the motion. Down, up, down, up, down, up, right there. It's at the high of the year. Why would I want to buy something that's at the high of the year? It just makes no sense to me. Okay? La 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 la. What else do we have over here? Okay, we got that one, we got that one, got that one. Jay, how you doing? Jeffrey wants to take a look at Pfizer PFE. Nope. That was quick, wasn't it, Jeffrey? Reason why I'm saying no, Jeffrey, look at this. The high of the 30-day period. Okay, here's the bottom. She shoots up. Okay, where's it going to go? It's going to go to a higher high. I don't like buying things at the high. I like it as it's going up. See? Top, drops, up, down, down. Now she's going back up again. Big, huge jump yesterday and another big jump today. Now we're already at a new 30-day high. It just doesn't make sense to jump in. Okay, Rudy, you're asking me about Texas Roadhouse. You actually got to give me the ticker symbol. Okay, Riven has not been around for 20 years yet. Okay, what do we have? Joe, Riven. Okay, Brocker 86. Riven has not been around for 2 decades. Do you day trade ever? Nope. Moderna, mDRNA. mDRNA. MDR. I don't know it. Who knows what MDR, Moderna? Anyone? Paul, BASF. BASF. Okay, unfortunately, Paul, we cannot find that symbol. Sorry. How can I see this? Vin, this behind me right here is live on YouTube. What do we got? How do you like, Occidental Petroleum, OXY. Nice, I like OXY. Check this out. Okay, here's the high, here's the low. Here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at this. Sideways, down, up, down, up. What's going on right here? Let's zoom into that a little closer. Ooh, what happened? Down, up. Here's the top. Down, here's the bottom. Shoots back up. There's the top again. Now she's coming back down again. Sorry. Coming back down. Granger stock is outrageous. Yes, it is. Okay, John, let me know how that works out for you. Rotten steam. A grasshopper walks into a bar, says, hey. You have. All right. David, I see you keep coming back. That's great. David, what ticker is that for Granger? GWW. Day traded, no. Yep, got that one. Did that one. What do I think about Roth IRAs? They're pretty good. It's only $9.44. Yep, got that one. Texas Roadhouse. mRNA. Thank you, Joe. mRNA. Ooh, interesting. Okay, the high, the low. Look at this. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times. It didn't want to go under 23. You see it? 9 times right there. There's the top. Okay, here we are right here. Look at this. Oh, that looks lovely. Let's zoom into that, see what that looks like. Here we go. Here's the last 30 days. Okay, here's your top, here's your bottom, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at this. Down, up, down, up. Definitely in an upward trend right now. The top's right here, the bottom's right there, and we're right here. We have plenty of space. Plenty of space to go for that to work. Okay, so let's take a look. 2671. So more than likely, we'll probably do the 27s. Well, look at this week's 27s. 45. Next week's 27s are going for 105. That's just a tiny bit below 4% for next week. Well, let's take a look at that one. If, of course, you like Moderna. All right, the 27 for next week. All right, here we go. Here are the numbers. This is what it's going to look like. By one covered call, mRNA, 21 November. That means this option is going to expire next Friday. So whoever buys it got between tomorrow morning and next Friday to do whatever it is they want to do with that option if they buy it. The $27 call option, here's the profit, $135. The investment is $25.65. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so profit $135. Okay, the investment $25.65. Grand total of 5.2 if you like Moderna. Now, do you like Moderna? That's the big question. Because you don't have to like it if you don't like it. Because remember rule number one? Rule number one is never buy something you don't want to own long term. So if you don't like it, just don't buy it. All right, where are we? We're right here. And what did Moderna come up at? 5.2. Holy cow. Holy cow. mRNA. 21 November. The 27 call option. 135 is the profit. 2,500 is the investment, including commissions and fees. All right, let's get rid of this. Okay, 5.2%. 5.2%. Moderna. Wow, those are big numbers as compared to yesterday. What do we get? Oh, we got 3% on Wally World yesterday. Nice. Okay, so Pfizer, we did Pfizer. All righty, Nike. Shimon Rubin wants to take a look at, Brocker wants to take a look at Nike. All right, let's get out of this one. Let's get out of that one. Let's get out of that one. Let's get back to there. Let's get back to here. Back to the very beginning. So Brocker wants to take a look at Nike. Or is that Broker? NKE. Here we go. Okay, so here's Nike right here. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at this, up, down, and now she's going up. We're at 64.20. The 64s for this week are going for 81. Next week are going for 144. Hell, I'd do this week first because it's giving me more than 1%. So let's take a look at it, the 64s. Let's get rid of that. There, here we go. The 64 for this week. There it is. Just one, just so you get an idea of what it looks like, what it sounds like. Does it make sense? Here we go. Buy one, covered call of Nike. 14 November, that's this coming for 2 days. Clear. Okay, so $63 is the profit. Divide that by 63.37, grand total of 9.99. Not even 1%. See, 0.99. I ain't going to make it. So let's do next week's. So we'll just change this up just a tiny bit. We're going to do next week's. It's 21 November. Same thing. Here we go. Buy one, covered call, Nike. 21 November, that's next Friday, the $64 call options. I'm buying it at $64.20, selling it at $64, picking up $127. It's costing me $62. What am I walking away with? Let's figure that one out. Alrighty, $127 divided by 62.73. Grand total of 2%. If if you like Nike. All right, so if you like Nike, it makes sense, right? Do I like Nike or do I not like Nike? Well, it's paying 2%, so why not? Just my humble opinion. Let's see it. There it is right there. Nike, 21 November, the $64 call option. 127, 6,200. That's the profit if you like that stock. What did I come up with? 2%. 2%. And there we go. All right, what do we have next? Okay, we already checked out Pfizer. Thank you, Jeffrey. Earl, how are you today? Did I make a mistake by buying the NAVM IPO? Okay, Earl, dude, I really can't help you out. I don't do IPOs. I only do companies that have been in business for at least 2 decades. That's 20 years. Okay, so Earl, what I'm looking for is a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week using dividend stocks and covered calls, which is call options against the stock. So I don't know what it is that you're trying to do, but I don't do IPOs. So you might be wasting your time here, dude. I honestly don't know. All right, what else do we have? Simon wants to take a look at IOVA. I have no idea what the hell that is. IOVA. Who knows what that is? IOVA. Iovance Biotherapeutics. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of a problem with this one. If this thing's at $1 in June and July, how the hell can this thing have 20 years of profits? Think about it, 20 years of profits. And oh, hell no. Hell no. All right, look at this. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. No, 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 no. Now, the reason why I'm saying no to that is because if you are wrong, you're going to get nothing. Now, normally, when I buy a stock, it has 2 ways it's going to go. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. If it goes down, I still want to be able to write a covered call. And if 1 strike out of the money is 0, and 2 strikes out of the money is 0 and 0. Yeah, no, the money's just not there. Sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. What else do we have here? Okay, thank you there, Jeffrey. Earl. Don't know what to tell you. I'm going to grab my seat because we have quite a bit of questions. So I want to go through some of these questions before the night flitters away. All right, do you trade options or is it buying and selling of stock shares? KJ, I buy dividend stocks and I sell covered calls against them, which is call options. So yeah, I do option trading too. Let's keep going. What else do we got? What else do we have here? All right. AI, dividend stock analysis. Ask about specific stocks. Thank you. NAVM, nope. Nope. You mentioned Pepsi yesterday. How's that looking today? Well, if it looked good yesterday, it's probably going to look good today. Ooh, look at that. She pulled back today. So what do you do? Okay, she did. Look at this. She bounced up. Today, she pulled back. I don't know. Did you jump into Pepsi? If you did, what'd you jump in at? It doesn't look good. Alrighty. Sheepdog. BlackRock doesn't have weekly options. Joe. Campbell's Soup. CPB. Interesting. What happened today? No. New high, new low. Okay. Let's go all the way back. Let's go back. Way back when. Okay, here we go. You ready for this? There's the high. Was that 47? Here's the bottom, 29. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Now she's going back up. 31.17. The 31s are going for 35 for this week. Next week's 31s are going for 60. Yeah. Oh, no. No. Yeah, I do next week's 31s. So let's take a look at it. Next week's 31s. Covered call. Next week's 31. That don't look that good. It don't look that good. All right, here we go. By one covered call, Campbell's, at the market, 21 November, that's next week. We're looking at the $31 call option. Right now, the stock's at $31.17. So if I'm getting $48 as the profit and it's costing me $3,000, what kind of rate of return is that? Okay, $48 into the calculator. Then we divide that by the investment. Well, the investment's $3,000. Well, what is that coming to? 1.57. Why not? Come on, we all know who Campbell Soup is. Okay, 1.57. $1.57 for Campbell Soup. Good. That's what Campbell Soup's. I remember that commercial. Old one. All right, where are we? No! Where the hell did you go? There it is, right there. There it is. Campbell Soup, 21 November, that's next Friday. The $31 call option. Here's the profit, here's the investment. Right there. If you like Campbell Soup. And what did we say it was? 1.57. 1.57%. Yay. All right, that's 4. 4 already. Nice. What else do we got? Come on down. You mentioned Pepsi. Yep, look at that one. Okay, did that one. All right. Okay, BT Long. Chime is a buy. I have no idea who Chime is. Okay, Earl, what brokerage? That is Charles Schwab. Earl, oh, is this a recording? No, Earl, this is not a recording. It is 9:40 p.m. on the 12th, which would be Wednesday evening. Okay? All right, Alex, Tesla. I'm not 100% a fan of Tesla, only because they don't have any dividends. So how do we know when it's going to move? That's one of my issues I have with Tesla. If it's a dividend stock, we know when they have their dividend. We know when they have a tendency to move. But without the dividend, how do we know when it's going to move? We just don't know. LB, thank you for that. Open will hit 38 before March 2026. Mark my words. Alrighty then. Why does everybody say that you should like the company when you're investing? Example, I hate the taste of Pepsi, but I still invest in Pepsi even though I hate the taste. Okay, Brocker 86, or is it 88? It's 86. Okay, Brocker 86. I didn't say you have to like the drink. I said you have to like the company. Okay? Has the company been profitable for the last 5 decades? Yes, it has. Okay, they've been in business for over 100 years. You don't have to like the soda to drink it. You don't have to drink the soda to buy the company or to buy the share. You know what I mean. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, you like the company? Great. You don't have to like the soda. So LB says open is the only stock. Okay. OPEN. No. Now the reason why I'm saying no to open, besides the fact that it probably doesn't have 5 decades, look at where she is. She's at the high. Here's your bottom. There's your top. Okay? No. There's no more room for it to run. Oh, so is the stock does not hit the price, then he makes money, and it does, then if he sells, makes sense. Okay, thank you. Open will hit 38. You think Open's going to hit 30? Yeah, okay, you fell with that one, LB. Thank you. So you have no idea about Open. No, why would I? Think about it. Okay, hold on a second. Let's go to Open. Open to Yahoo Finance. Bad boy. Oh no. Gen Xer. Okay, so here we go. Open Door Technologies. Okay? OPEN. Open Door Technologies. Okay, there are no dividends at this time frame. So, my dear friend, Mr. LB, the name of the name of the show is Dividend Stock Talk. The main word there is dividend. So why are we looking at a stock that has no dividend? Look at Ford. Interesting. Let's take a gander at Ford. Alrighty. Here's the high of the year. Here's the low. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Down, up, down, up. Okay. What's going on there? Well, let's take a look. The last 30 days. Last 30 days, she shoots up, comes down. Now she's going back up again. 1345, the 1350s are going for 8 for this week. Next week, they're going for 20. Well, that kind of makes sense. Well, let's do that. That could be stock number 4. Well, that works for me. Let's get rid of this. Change that. 1350 for next week. There it is. Just one contract at the market. There it is. And here we go. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Here we go. Buy one. Covered call of Ford. 21 November. That means the option expires next Friday. The $13.50 call option against the stock to open. Here's the profit, $25. The investment is $13. What does that come to? Now think about it. All we're doing here is just creating weekly cash-producing assets. Find a good company, one that you like. You don't have to like what they do. You just got to like the fact that, hey, is it a well-run company and are they profitable? You don't have to like the products. But is it a company that's consistently profitable? That should be the main Okay, so the profit, $25.50. Okay, and the investment is $13.25. Grand total of 1.9% if you like Ford. And I do like Ford. $1.9, okay. $1.9% for Ford. There's Ford right there. There it is. Ford, 21 November, the $13.50 call option. 25 is the profit. 13 is the investment. And it's 1.9%. Now, I'm looking for 1% a week. Because 1% a week, for me, that's 50% per year. 1.9? Yeah, 1.9. 1.9%. That's number 5. So we got 5. So we don't really need any more. We can call it a day. We can go to bed early. All that kind of nice, neat, fun stuff. Let's answer some questions. Whoa, wait a second. Let's answer some questions. What do we have here? Okay, Rudy, you still haven't told me about Texas Roadhouse. I need the ticker symbol. Just type in the entire name and you'll see the symbol. Okay, thank you for that. Alex, how are you doing today? LB, this is a teaching lesson. I feel like he's well off. Thank you there, David. You're a Gen Xer, all about safe investing. You won't get rich on your path. Good luck doing YouTube live for the next 20 years while we get rich. Oh, LB, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm already rich, so, it is what it is. Okay. So, Robert Meyer, Walmart's earnings are next week. Okay, thank you. Great call option premiums. Yep, we looked at it last night. All right, so let's get out of Ford. We already did that one. We don't need to look at it anymore. Uh-oh, I heard someone. Heard someone. All right, so what else do we got? All right. Doesn't use TikTok, just streams it. Oh, Alex, I use TikTok all the time. This is not, Alex, you got to remember, this is my secondary TikTok that you're on. I have a primary TikTok, which is, 2 cameras away from where you are. All right, anyway. Missing 42 people. I have no idea why it says missing 42 people, Alex. Maggie, I want to ask if you buy calls on the monthlies like STWD. Nope. I don't do any monthlies at all, Maggie, and I don't buy options. I sell options. Uncle Deathy wants to take a look at PEG. What the hell is PEG? P-E-G. Petard Group. I don't do monthlies, dude. Sorry. What were you thinking? Block ENT. K-View. Okay, K-View. K-V-U-E. All right. Interesting. Now, I'm going to say no to K-View for this week, only because, you ready for this? You see this right here? This is called a gap down, a gap up. All right, here's your high, here's your low, here's where it was, here's where it is. She shoots up, pulls back. Back up, back down. Big, huge gap right there. There's the high, back down, back up. Now I got 1, 2, 3 days to the downside, and that more than likely is going to end up filling, and I don't want nothing to do with that. Okay, listen, chat. Hello, 420. Hey, David. Cheers, David. Only have 100. What do I do? Is in the house. Okay, is in the house. I have no idea what we're talking about, but alrighty. We got what else over here? NLY. NLY. No. Sorry, I don't buy at the high of the year. Do you see this right there? There's the high of the year right there. Yesterday. No, thank you. KVAN. MNRA has no dividends. Okay, now KVAN, I didn't say anything about me buying it. Okay, I said somebody wanted to take a look at it. We looked at it. We saw all the numbers. So if somebody wants to do it, that's up to them. Me? No, I won't do it. But thank you for that. River on not T-turn. Okay, thank you. Pika Pika, good evening. Only SST5. Okay, Riley. Have a good evening, sir. You too. Uh-oh, user 3153 wants to take a look at Caterpillar. I love me some Caterpillar. Uh-oh, where did it go? Uh-oh, there it is right there, Caterpillar. So let's go take a look at Caterpillar for a second. Then I got to change, go to another screen. No. See, I don't buy at the high of the year. See where the high is? Right there? It's way too high for Caterpillar. IEP, isn't that called Icons? IEP. It is Icon Enterprises. No, Icon Enterprises is a monthly. Doesn't work. Okay, user 3153 IEP. Yeah, no, we already looked at that one. CRSP. Who's that one? Pierre Jobs. CRSP. CRSP. CRISPR Therapeutics. Well, I have no idea who they are, but look what they're doing. They're dropping like a rock. All right. Here's your high right there, dropping like a rock. If you really like it, give it a couple of days. As soon as she turns, finds that bottom, hey, check this out. Here's your high, here's your low. Down, up, down. It's going to find a bottom sooner or later. Okay, the 52s are going for 5 cents. Hell no. Next week's 52s are going for $2. That's just shy of 4%. But first, you got to wait to find a bottom. Because who knows? Tomorrow it could be lower. Just doesn't make any sense. Cast J99. What did I trade today? I didn't trade anything today. I traded yesterday. Wait, no, I traded Monday. Sorry. I traded Monday. I didn't trade yesterday, and I didn't trade today. And most of my trades are always on Mondays. Okay, so Cast 99 wants to take a look at PLTY, even though I say hell no to PLTY. Okay. This is Yahoo Finance. And Yahoo Finance, Yield Max PLTR option income strategy, PLTY, right there. There it is. So let's take a look at the profits for PLTY. Okay? The very first dividend that this thing paid out was November 2024. So Cast, when I say 2 decades, would you interpret 2 decades as in less than 1 year? Because this thing's not even a year old. Are for at least years. Okay? But take a look at the numbers. 2, 3, 2.9, going down. Okay, so up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. It went down more times than when it went up. Why the hell would I want to invest in a company not even a year old and goes down more than it goes up? Mr. Sawyer. Ooh, Mr. No, my time. Okay, what's that one? FSLY. FSLY. I'm Mr. 10 Below. They call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch, the snow my clutch. I'm too much. Don't. I remember from my childhood. Okay, so unfortunately, FSLY has no ends. So we look at CCJ. What the heck, Tyler? CCJ is... Alright. Chemical CCJ. Oh, check that out. 2005. 3, 4, 3.6, 4.3. 4.7, 5, 6. Oh, it went from 6 to 5.9 to 5.8. 4.9, 5.2, 5.7, 6.8, 6.7, 7, 10, 9, 10, 9, 9, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7. Oh, come on. It was going pretty good for a while. Let's keep on going. Do you think Robinhood undervalued? So Robinhood has not been around for 20 years yet. I like it long term. I'm sure you do. All right. HD, Home Depot, and Lowe's have nice call premiums with earnings next week. Both selling at or near monthly lows. Ooh, Rob, we'll take a look at that one. All right, Dom C, CDZI. Really? Okay, so let's check that one out. CDCI. CDZI. Hell no. Sorry, dude. I don't do monthlies. It just doesn't work. Nelson, TPO. What is TPO, Nelson? No options. No, thank you. Say, Robert Meyer wants to take a look at Home Depot, which is a dividend king. Okay, unfortunately, take a look at this. 30-day high, 30-day bottom, 1 day up. Now she's pulling back. So now we got to wait for 2 more days to the upside before Home Depot's halfway decent. Lowe's. Interesting. So let's go back. Here we go. Lowe's. Here's the high. Here's the low. There's where it was. Here's where it is. Up, down. Up, down, up, down. Now she's going up. Okay, right there. The 234s, the 235s are going for 6. That's more than 2.5%. Now, Home Depot and Lowe's are both dividend kings. That means they got 5 decades of increased profits. Why the hell not invest in them? No for this week for Home Depot, but Lowe's is looking pretty good. Look at the last 30 days on Lowe's. Okay, here's your last 30 days. Okay, she jumps up. Here's the top right there. There's the top. Here's the bottom right there. You got your 2 days to the upside. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, you got highs here, and we're here. So you got all that space. Okay, the 234.70s, the 235s for next week. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's do that one. There it is. Next week's 235s. There it is. All right, so let's keep doing this one. Here we go. You ready? Buy one covered call of Lowe's, 21 November 25. That's next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. The 235 call option against the stock at the market to open. $700 is my profit. 22 is my investment. Brooker, using Robinhood now just for normal buying stocks and don't have the confidence to try options just yet. Need to practice maybe on a simulator. Is that something you'd recommend? Absolutely. I always tell everybody, never put money into the market until you have perfected the trading strategy using covered calls with a, what do you call that? A virtual account. Okay, it's like Monopoly. You know, 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. Yes, Cast 99, I'm well aware that Pepsi owns a lot of stuff. Yep, I got that. Stock options trading, ask about dividend stocks. Do I think Robinhood is undervalued? I'm not 100% sure. I can speak eloquently on that one. I don't do Robinhood because they haven't been around long enough. Mary June, I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? So while doing this, do you have long-term stocks? No, I don't, Mike. This is the only thing I do. I was just looking at Ford last night. Cool beans. Did Mara find the bottom yet? Gabriel, don't know. Let's take a gander. And then I definitely got to go over to another channel. I got over 100 questions over there. Now, you want to know if Mara has found the bottom yet. M-A-R-A. Nope. Another down day today for Mara. Tell them you don't have to worry about bills anymore. They do. Thank you there, Milton. Bro, what do you consider rich? Well, thank you, kid. Soul Banger, what's going on? So, if you buy 100 shares and take a profit from calls, what do you do with the 100 stocks then? Well, here's the thing. Soul Banger. A covered call, basically, you're buying 100 shares. You're correct about that. A covered call is where you sell those stocks to someone else using a call option. It gives them the right to buy it from you at a certain price by a certain date. And then you just collect the premiums. If the stock goes up, more than likely whoever bought the option will more than likely take the shares away from you. You get all your money back plus the profits. Okay? Good evening. Can we look at OXY? We looked at it a little while ago. That would be nice return for Lowe's. I'm going to agree with you. SBET. S-B-E-T. No. Sharp Link Gaming. Yeah, no. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to go over to here because we got 99 questions. Holy cow. Andy Cap, how are you today? All right, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Holy cow. All right. I'm happy Nokia made it to the board. I'm rooting for them. All right, Pre-Law Flipper, how are you doing? Oh, really? Nokia just merged with Infinera. Cool beans. Chris Valley, how are you today? Justin Taylor, is a Horizon fund on a 401k good? Justin, I have no idea what that is whatsoever. Lauren, good evening. Sean, good evening. Sean the Turtle. Oh, Shaw the Turtle. Okay, GEO. The Frugal Foodie. GEO. What is GEO? GEO. Global Petroleum. That baby's sinking like a rock. Yeah, I'd wait for it to stop sinking. MSTY. Oh, hell no. CWX. CWX. Carawine Resources. No options. No thank you. Austin, what's happening? Okay, Rulad, we looked at Misty already. It's a no. Pre-law, the gum. It is easy to get carried away with chewing. Instead, understand the choice of discard. Oh, thank you. Ooh, Rob wants to take a look at Eli Lilly, LLY. Am I reading that right? $1,000 a share. Frugal Foodie, we looked at Campbell Soup. ZB, AIYY. What the hell is that? Hell no. All right. B Cart Impressions. CNQ. CNQ. Canadian National. Okay. 3244, the 3250s. Okay, let's take a gander. You can trade an option every day. Yeah, I'm well aware you can, but I have no desire to be a day trader. I'm a weekly trader. All right. CNQ. Here's the high. Here's the low. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at the motion. Down, up, down, up, down, up. 32.44. The 32.50s, 40 cents. That's more than 1%. Let's take a gander. Let's take a gander. Okay. 32.50 for next week, right there. Alrighty, one contract, and here we go. You ready? Buy one, covered call CNQ, 21 November, that's next Friday, the 32.50 call option. So if I'm buying it at 32.44, I'm selling it at 32.50, I'm collecting 53 bucks, it's costing me 32. Let's see what rate of return that is. Clear that. Profit is 53. 50 divided by 31.97 gives me a grand total of 1.67%. All right, let's write this one down. 1.67. Nice. There it is. CNQ, 21 November. The 32.50 call option. Low battery. How the hell do I get a low battery? A low battery. There we go. Now she's charging. All right. That being said, let's keep on keeping on. 53 is my profit. Here's the investment right there. And it's going to be 1.67%. It wasn't supposed to do that. Damn it. I hit the wrong button. Okay. Right. There we go. All right. CNQ, 21 November. The 32.50 call option. 53.50 is the profit. 3,200 is the investment, and that's 1.67%. .67%. Right. How many do we have today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 today. 6 today, 6 yesterday, 6 the other day, 5 the other day. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Let's start reading all these questions because we got lots and lots of questions. Alrighty. Alrighty. What do we have? Oh. Dano, AGNC. Now, Dano, I don't like AGNC because of this right here. Dano, you ready for this? Give me a second. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay? I always like to look at the premiums because remember, rule number 5 is make sure all the numbers work. Well, all the numbers have to do with What am I buying it for? What am I selling? What did I collect? Where's it going next? Okay, well, no, I don't like zeros, because if I'm wrong, and every once in a while I am wrong, the stock goes down. If I can't collect a premium 1, 2, 3 strikes out, it's going to make it a little challenging for me to get, what do you call that? Cash flow on a weekly basis. So I don't like AGNC. There's a few of them that do the same thing. Andy Cap, you're welcome. Diva, how are you today? The Frugal Foodie. You can trade an option every day. Yes, I'm aware of that. Frugal Foodie, IIPR. IIPR. Innovative Indie Riet. Okay. No. Sorry, dude, I don't do monthlies. See this? November, December, January, April, June. Yeah, those are months of the year, which means that monthly options just don't work for me. Then it drops by the dividend. You're absolutely right. Pre-law flipper. The calendar chart is helpful. You're welcome. Bro, you are for real. When the divvy is paid, the stocks go down by that amount. Yes, they do. Thank you. All right, Boston Stock Talk, Verizon, VZ, there we go. Ooh, check that out. Okay, let's check this out real quick. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at this. Up, down, sideways, down, and then up. We're at 40.80, so the 41, going for 38. Can we all say, no, thank you? Sorry, it's a week and a half out, and it's not even, yeah, the 41, it's not even giving 1%. Sorry, no to Verizon. KView EX date was today. It to be acquired yesterday. Absolutely. In order to collect the dividend, if you want to collect the dividend, you got to buy it before the EX date. Frugal Foodie is correct. Let's keep on keeping on. Omar Layla, CRC. Isn't that Circle? CRCL? Circle Internet Group. Yeah. Okay. The 87s are going for $4. Okay. That's close to 5% if you like Circle. Okay, now Circle's not on my list, and it's not even a contender for today, because look at this. Okay, it's just dropping. Now it's at a 30-day bottom. So, yeah, I don't buy anything at the bottom. I wait for it to bounce up. I bought at 6 looking to sell. All right. Hey, Frugal Foodie likes Campbell's. Go get you 5%. Thank you there, Frugal. Lynn, good evening. Happy blessed. Good evening. Thank you. I got you. All right. Thank you. And that doesn't always happen. He's absolutely right. Do you consider the Greeks? Not for what I'm doing here. Okay, RB21. What I'm doing here is showing you the strategy in which I created for my 9-year-old daughter. So trying to explain the Greeks to a 9-year-old, there's just no way around it. Okay? So it had to be safe, simple, predictable, consistent, no way for her to lose, and for her to be able to do it within less than 10 minutes. When you start getting into the Greeks, it's a little bit more time and effort to that. Okay, MReg73, AES on the list. Good fundamentals, weekly options. Interesting. Weekly options, but low value. Penny options with low spread. Let's take a look. AES. 14. Okay. It's at 1409. The 14s for this week. Oh, no. I'm not 100% sure here. Okay, this one's going to be kind of like, what do you call it? Right on the borderline, walking that straight line. Okay, so we get the high here, the low here. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Down, up, down, up, down, up. What's going on here? But look at this. 0, 0, 0, 0. I don't like seeing a bunch of zeros there, because if I'm wrong and the stock drops a little bit, I want to be able to bring money in. And if the one strike out of the money is 0, 2 strikes 0, 3 strikes 0. Okay, but look at 2 weeks out, the 1450 is still paying 1%. So yeah, that might work. But once you go 3 strikes out, you're getting 0. I mean, it is only a $14 stock, so there's not a lot of room there. All right, what's next? Pre-law flipper wants to hear the 5 rules. All right, pre-law, you ready for this? Here it comes. The 5 rules. Okay, now, the trading strategy that I'm giving you here for free this evening was created for my 9-year-old back in 2008. She comes up to me one day and says, "Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me?" 9-year-old little girl wants to learn how to trade stocks. So how do you do it? How do you teach a 9-year-old? Well, it's got to be simple, safe, predictable, consistent, and no way for her to lose. That's the 5 criteria for a 9-year-old. Okay, all within less than 10 minutes a day. Because how long do you think a 9 or 10-year-old is going to be able to concentrate and focus on something like trading stocks? All right, besides the point. So here's the 5 rules. Rule number 1, never buy something you don't want to hold on to long term. Go in with that attitude. I'm going to buy something, I want to hold it for a long term or until it hits my target. Rule number 2, never sell at a loss. It defeats the purpose of the game. That was the rule for my daughter. Now, as you get older, you have to understand every once in a while you do have to take a loss just to keep from missing out on opportunity costs. All right. Rule number 3, make sure the company is consistently profitable. That means they make more money this year than they did last year. They made more money last year than they did the previous year. They made more money that year than they did the previous year. So every single year they make more and more and more money, which would mean dividend stock companies give dividends back to the investors as a portion of the profits. RR killed me this month. Okay, Brocker, I don't like RR. People ask me about RR every single week, and I say the same thing every week. It has not been around long enough to have any interest to me whatsoever. Sorry that you lost money, dude. Should you only hold your dividend stocks in your Roth IRA for tax purposes? Okay, Cast J99. Everybody's going to be different. Okay? If you're worried about taxes, you really should talk to a tax strategist or a tax planner so they can help you to legally reduce or eliminate completely your taxes. But that's something you got to figure out. Okay, SO has their EX date coming. Thank you, Kate. Jeffrey, we already looked at Pfizer earlier. Okay, I didn't finish the 5 rules. Okay, never buy something you don't want to hold, never sell a loss, make sure the company is profitable. Rule number 4, weekly options only. And rule number 5, make sure all the numbers work. That means you got to take a look at all the numbers. What am I buying it for? What am I selling? Am I getting my 1% or not? Where does it look like the stock is going next? And am I okay with this company at this price? Next. All right. Houston Schoonicker. Okay, good evening. Elila, good evening. Kate, thank you. Ralad, Main Street, M-A-I-N. Isn't that a no also? It's a monthly. Okay, Ralad, aren't you paying attention? I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. Sorry. Jeffrey, I'm thinking for a long term. All right, Jeffrey. No idea what your idea of long term is, but mine is 30 days. I love Della. How do I get started? You could send me your phone number. I give you a buzz and we just chat. Jeffrey, mRNA, we already looked at that one. Thank you, Jeffrey. Megan, TEM. Megan, what is TEM? Tempus, 71. Wow. Okay, I got a minor problem with Tempus. If it's at 71, and this week they're paying 155, that's over 2% for 2 days. I don't think so. So let's find out. Does this TEM? TEM. Okay, we know what the Yahoo quick is. Megan, does TEM have dividends? If so, are they increasing? Oh, sorry, Megan. There are no dividends. Okay, so Megan, the idea is to use dividend stocks to tell us when to jump in and when to jump out based on historical performance. So I look at decades performance, seeing what is done. Now, for me as a person, they may pay better, but the consistency and the safety is not there for somebody like myself. User 9256 STRK. What the heck is that? STRK? STRK. Oh dear. STRK. I have no idea what that is. Let's put it right here. STRK. All right. Strategy Inc. 84 bucks. I got a minor flaw with this one. Who came up with this one? Okay, user 9256. This thing's been around for a year. It's paid 3 dividends, and that's it. Sorry, I'm going to have to say no to that one. So, 100 shares and take the profit from the call. What do I do with the stocks? Well, you got to give the stocks to whoever buying the option. Stephen Gold. Thank you. Houston Schumacher. GPQ. Really? Dude, don't you listen? JEPQ. Kevin Zcash. Kevin, what is that? Okay, so who came up with this one? Houston. All right, Houston. Here we go. I got a minor problem with JEPQ. The very first dividend was in 2022. That means this thing's only 3 years old. Houston, why are we looking at a company that's 3 years old? Explain that one to me. 3 years. Okay, 37. Lower, higher, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower. Higher, 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 lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower. No, AEPQ's only been around for 3 years, hasn't been consistently profitable. No. Rad Play. What the hell is Play? PLAY. Okay, CCJ, we already looked at that one. Dave and Buster's. Okay, see, I got a problem with Dave and Buster's. Here's my problem. 2018. Nothing since 2020. Sorry. Okay, Houston, EN Bridge. It's an XRP. Zcash. Z cash. Let's find out. Oh, it's a cryptocurrency. No, I don't do cryptocurrency. Josie, how you doing? We already looked at Pfizer today, Josie. AMD, we already looked at that. Melanie, we already looked at Costco. Isn't Granger? G W Granger is a monthly. You're correct. VP David, how do you deal with the taxes on your gains? Okay, David, you're under the impression that I actually pay taxes. Okay? The corporation's in a state that has no corporate taxes, and I live in a state where there are no personal taxes. And then IRS taxes are voluntary. Okay? And if you want to, you can opt out of it through what is called revocation of election. Okay, so taxes, I don't really worry about those. BT Long, why dividend stocks and not growth stocks, and sell when you want to make withdrawals? BT Long, awesome question. Really, it is. Let's go back to this for a second. Now, BT Long, I hope this makes sense. Are you ready? Behind me is what's called an EX dividend calendar. Okay? EX dividend calendar tells you when a company is going to pay their dividends. So we have two different kind of companies that we can invest in. One, it's called a growth stock. Okay, those companies take all their profits, put it back into the company for accelerated growth. That would make sense. However, I'm not looking for growth. I'm looking for cash flow. And what you're talking about, you're right. You can sell some to make withdrawals. You're absolutely right about that. But here's the thing. Dividend stocks take the profits and pay it back to their investors. So dividend stocks have a tendency to be able to see if they're profitable or not just by looking at the dividend. Has the dividend consistently increased year after year after year? Well, if it has, that means the profits have increased. Now, if it's not a dividend stock and it's a growth stock, now I have to go in to look at 20 years, 2 decades of annual reports to see what was the profits 20 years ago, 19 years ago. And I got to see if every single year they're more profitable. It's easy for a dividend stock because the number's either higher or it's not. So that way it's easy to see, is the company profitable? Well, if the number goes higher year after year after year after year, well, the only thing that means is the company's more profitable. Because see, the dividend is a portion of the company's profits that they pay you. Okay, and if that payment goes up higher and higher, well, the dividends, the profits are higher and higher. Okay, also, a dividend stock company is predictable and consistent. Just before the EX date, that's why we use the calendar, the stock has a tendency to go up based on the dividend. So a non-dividend stock, how do you know when it's going to move? You don't. You have to sit and you have to stare at that stupid screen all day long. Well, the calendar tells me when is a company paying its dividend. Okay, so if I'm looking at this week here, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies. I only want to buy one. So which one do I want? I'll take a look at each and every one of them because they got their dividend coming up, which means all 6 of them, hypothetically speaking, will be increasing in their price. Well, great. Well, out of those 6, which one is the best fit for what I want to do? Okay? So, if they're on this chart here, not just chart, sorry, if they're on this calendar here, that means every single stock here has increased its profits for at least 25 years. That's a quarter of a century. Each one of these, the little green dots, you see them? And that's just for this month. Next month, there's another whole list. And the month after that is another whole list. So if I only do dividend stocks, and I only do them just before the dividend is paid, because just before the dividend is paid, the stock has a tendency to go up in value. And if it goes up in value, it makes a covered call simpler and safer. And I love safety. I do. I got two criteria: consistency of profitability and weekly options. If the company's profitable, great. Let's do a trade on it, and can I get my 1%? It's a simple yes, no. All right, more questions. So BT Long, hope that made sense. Apple user, how are you? SB8 1981. I don't see dividends on Moderna. They don't have them. That's why. Okay, now I didn't say I was going to do Moderna, and I didn't say Moderna had dividends. All I said is, you give me a stock to take a look at, and I'll take a look at it. Okay, Jalira. We already looked at Pfizer. Thank you there, Chris. Topher, what does call option mean? Holy cow. All right, Topher. Number one, there's two different kind of options. There's a call option, there's a put option. A call option, usually, when you think a stock is going to go up, you would use a call option. If you think a stock was going to go down, you would use a put option. There's a lot of different strategies you can use with the options. Now, an option, call option, and a put option is more or less an insurance policy. Okay, you have 4 items you need. 4 items are required in order to make the contract valid: beginning date, ending date, consideration, and meeting of the minds, or agreement. Okay, an agreement between 2 parties means I say something, you agree to it. You say something, I agree to it. That means meeting of the minds or a mutual agreement. Great. Well, we need a starting date, an ending date, and consideration. 4 things. So, hopefully that made sense. Jimmy Joy, what are other stocks on the list on the whiteboard? I came in late. Okay, Jimmy Joy, we're going to take a look at that in a second. So, Jimmy Joy, I'm on live Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. I take Friday nights and Saturday nights off. So, the other stocks on the list. These are the stocks we found Sunday night. These are the stocks we found Monday night. These are the stocks we found Tuesday night. And these are the stocks we found tonight. That's what those are. Okay, next week we'll get rid of all these and we'll find some more. Alrighty. More questions. Hey, James, could you read the stocks you put on the board today? I caught the last 2, Lowe's and CNQ. Who's that? Tom. All right, Tom, I'll get to that in a minute. Sav, good evening. Found a good one this afternoon. BBWI. Oh, let's check that one out. BBWI. What that is? BBWI. Bath Body Works. Alrighty. Okay, Sav. I'm not quite sure, me personally, because today is the bottom of the year. Is that the bottom of the year? Yes, it is. Today's the bottom of the year. Now, tomorrow, it could be lower. So I don't ever try to find the bottom. I don't ever buy at the bottom. I wait for the bottom to show up, and then I wait 2 days for the upside. You know, one day, could be tomorrow, might not be. You don't know, because it could be lower tomorrow. It could be higher, it could be lower. We just don't know.
All
right, so what else do we have? Okay, take a look at that in a little bit. Please check LNG, interesting numbers at current price. LNG. What the hell is LNG? LNG. Cheniere Energy. Interesting. The 215s. Okay. Well, let's take a gander at it. You ready? Here's the high. Here's the low. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Up, down, down. Now she's going back up again. 213. The 212s are going for 430. Well, that might work if you like that. Now, we already got 6 for today. Do we really want to look at another one? I know you guys are all saying, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Let's do it. Let's do it. The 215. There it is. One contract. Right there and right there and right there. And here we go. Buy one. Covered call LNG. 21 November. That's next Friday. Next Friday, 21 November. The 215 call option. $400 is the profit. See here? Max profit. $400. Cost of trade, including commissions and fees, $21,000. So, do you remember when I first came on? I tell you what I'm looking for: simple, safe, predictable, consistent. That's what I'm looking for: simple, safe, predictable, consistent. All right. So, when I say predictable, I know exactly what my profit's going to be before I even do the trade, just to make sure: is this going to be profitable? Should I be doing it? See, most people just buy the stock and wait for the stock to move. I could care less if the stock moves. My concern is the company profitable, and which direction does the stock price look like it's going? Well, this one looks like it's going up. Well, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for 2 days, because 2 days is Thursday and Friday. Or am I doing 2 weeks, which is next Friday? It's the next Friday. Okay. That being said, let's see what this profit looks like. Okay, 400 is the profit. We divide that by the investment. Comes to a grand total of 1.89%. 1.89. If you like this company, of course. Shall we write it down? Maybe we should. Okay. All right, so who came up for this one? Tom. All right, Tom, you got your pen ready? Here we go, Mr. Tom. LNG, 21 November, the 215s. $400 is the profit. $21,000 is the investment. Okay? Comes to a grand total of 1.9%. 1.9%. All right, we're not gonna do any more. Let's see what we got. All right. Now, this was Sunday. This was Monday. That was Tuesday. This is tonight. Are you ready? Tom, here we go. You ready, Tom? Here we go. Nokia, 3.8. Moderna, 5.2. Nike, 2%. Campbell's Soup, 1.5. Ford, 1.9. CNQ, 1.6. And then LNG 1.9. There you go, Tom. Uh-oh, another low battery. Another low battery. All right, let's do this. Alrighty. What else do we have? Okay, user 9256. We already looked at Walmart. Papa Bear, how are you today? Jose, STZ. What is STZ? Now, I know who they are. Say, what are we looking at? STZ. Interesting. Who came up with STZ? Jose, STZ. Yeah, high? Back, almost a year ago. Here's your low right there. We're dropping. What's going on right there? Last 30 days. Here you go. Last 30 days. Here's your 30-day bottom right there. 1-2 days up. Looks like it's a good contender for tomorrow if you like STZ. Hayes, how you make sure it's not bottom? There is no way to find out. Okay, Hayes? Because it's the lowest point at the moment. Okay, and that was Monday. Monday's the lowest point. Tuesday was higher. Today was higher. So at this moment in time, Monday is the lowest point. Now, it can drop tomorrow, and tomorrow could be lower. It changes every day. That's why we look at it every day. Okay, Ian Schuback. We already looked at SoFi, and it was a no back then, too. Wasn't here for that. Apologies. All right, no problem. SoFi, we already looked at SoFi, too. Clip, how are you doing? Venny, how are you? Jaden, how are you doing? Should all your dividend earnings stocks be in your Roth IRA only? Okay, Cast 99, you really got to talk to a tax strategist to figure out what is the best way for you to hold your account. Okay? What are the 6 for today? Okay. We already did that. Waste management. Okay, HB, waste management is a monthly, and I don't do monthlies. Waste management, right there. Who came up with that one? HB. All right, November, December, January, March, April, June. Yeah, I don't do monthlies. The numbers just don't work. Mary June, how are you doing? Oh, Felix, did we do Target? No, we did not. TGT. Oh, take a look at that. What's going on with Target? That looks interesting. Your last 30 days. Here you go. Here's your last 30 days. 30-day bottom, shoots up, pulls back. Now she's going up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks awesome. The 92s. What's the 92 going for? 92, 480. That's over 4%. If you like Target. All right, shall we do it? Yep. I hear somebody saying, "Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Target. Let's do Target." Next week's 92s. There it is. Market. There we go. Here's Johnny. What are we looking at today? Buy one covered call Target. 21 November. That's next Friday. The $92 call option at the market to open. Here's your max profit, 481. Here's your investment, 87.19. Let's take a gander. Okay, profit 481 divided by 87.19. 87.19. Grand total of 5.5%. Come on, you know this is going in. You do. There it is. 5.5%. Of course, we're going to save that one. Really? 5.5%? You don't think we're going to save it? Yeah, we're going to save that one. And no, it's not a recommendation. No, it's not a tip. It's an observation. Someone asked me to take a look at it. Where is it? Right there. Here we go. All right, I'm going to move this over to here. We got a minor flaw here. Wow, 7. We have never found 7 in one day before. All right, here we go. There it is. Target, 21 November. That's next Friday. The 92 call option. 481 is the profit. 8,700 is the investment, including the commissions and the fees. Okay? And it's a 5.5% for 1 week. Well, why wouldn't I want to do that one? %. Wow, we got 7 of them today. We're just racking them up, aren't we? What does call option mean? We already did that one. What other stocks on the list were there? We already did that one. What the strike price? 92. SMCI? Hell no. Scott, bull or beer on rare earth, such as MP? Okay, Victoria, Hood has not been around for 20 years. MP, I have no idea who they are. SMCI, that just ain't happening. The numbers are horrible. This is astrology, but for boys. Okay. Thanks. Okay, up, down, trader. Back again. How are you today? Do I do cash secured puts? Of course I do. I just don't teach them here. Keen, PLTR, hell no. Take a look at the numbers. Okay, MRK, 92. Got it. All right. Let's see what else we got. Enzo, how are you today? Crypto King, what's going on? Lai. Okay. Jessica, how are you? Thank you for that. Enzo, do you do a course on your strategy? You're in the UK. Wow. How are things over there in the UK? Okay, the stuff that I see on TikTok looks absolutely horrible in the UK. I have no idea if it's true or not. Roulade, APLD. APLD. Wait a minute, I gotta get rid of all this stuff. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Go back to here. Go to there. Go to there. Do this. Do that. Do this. Do that. APLD. APLD. Applied Digital. Wow. It definitely looks interesting. It's in a little bit of a downturn at the moment. The high's right here. Now it's pulling back. I wouldn't do it today. Pre-law flipper, coffee break. Good for you. Eric, UNH. Take a look at it tomorrow. We're running out of time. 1X site, Bito. Ooh, I like Bito. BITO. Oh, look at that's kind of choppy. Yeah, we're just going sideways for this week. What's going on here? Okay, she's dropping. Now she's going sideways. Look at the bottom. That's what you call some support. Doesn't seem to want to go lower. We know what you meant. Don't worry. You're good. Thank you. Main Street. Okay, Rlad. Main. M-A-I-N. That is a monthly. That's a no. I sold cash secured put for 85 strike. It was at 188, and it's hovering around 185 and 184 today. Expires on Friday. Okay, why not roll it into next week? Unless you want to buy it at 185. Pick-fil-A. How are yesterday's picks looking? I have no idea. I only got 4. What was number 1? Okay, Rob, hold tight. We're probably going to do that again in a little bit. DCP. I have no idea what that means. Luke, good time to be hesitant. Thank you there, Luke. The cash secured put is for PLTR. See, Michael, I don't trade PLTR. It just has not been around long enough. What happened to manners? Don't have anything nice to say, don't say. Kate, I'm going to agree with you. Luke, Oracle is down. Okay, well, I don't think Oracle's on my list, was it? UK is 0.10 at the moment. Wouldn't recommend. Not good. Okay. PLTR has a strike price of 260. Okay, and is currently below 190. What's wrong with those numbers? Keen, what's wrong with the numbers for PLTR? It really does. PLTR. All right, Keen, we're waiting for it to pop up, and I'll show you what's wrong with PLTR. Okay, Renee, we already looked at SoFi earlier today. Russell, ELF is a Renee, SoFi has no dividends. Sorry. Dave, by TRD TF. Never even heard of that one. Okay, so Keen. Hold tight. Hold tight. Keen wanted to know about PR. All right, Keen, you ready? Get that stupid thing away. PLTR, Palantir Technologies, PLTR. There are no dividends. I don't do Is Demiri. What's the meaning of life? Meaning of life? Dave, TRDTF. What was that? TRDTF. Some strange reason I don't think this company has dividends either. Trident. Oh, I'm right. Look at that. Dave, do you see this? TRDF has no dividends. No. No dividends. No Q. 5 rules for stock trading as basketball dividend stocks. Okay, thank you. And how do you get this info? Richard, how are all right. So, Richard, the calendar is actually on the is owned by Charles Schwab. And it's free to download, free use for a short period of time. You use it for 8 PSEC. Let's take a look at that one. We're running out of time. The Universal, Axon later. Ford finally made the list. Ford's been on the list for a while. Just, what does it look like today? What are we following right now? Andy, sit tight. We're going to look at ones we found tonight in a little bit. Jamel, what application are you using for trading and presenting? The application for trading is Think or Swim. Think or Swim is owned by Charles Schwab. Stephen asks, gold is up 40% year to date, but if you get 1%, we got 50% a year. Thank you. Now, Steven, you probably not aware of this. Okay, Ashmore. The early 80s, we had the gold rush back in 1980s. The gold rush. Okay, $250 an ounce, and it jumped up to $800 an ounce. All right? Now, Dave, when it got to $800 an ounce back in 81, okay, it took 3 decades. Do you hear that? 3 decades for the people who bought at 800 back in the 80s. Took them 3 decades to break even. So the gold jumped $150 all the way up to 800. That's a big jump. And it stayed at the $800 area for a couple of days. And then it dropped. And it didn't get back to 800 for 30 years. That's 3 decades. 30 years for those people to break even. Terribly sorry. I'm not into gold. I'm not into silver or any precious metals. Michael, have you read anything for PLTR is securing any more government contracts? Michael, this is going to sound strange. Are you ready? Don't know, don't care. PLTR dividends, it's not on my list. It's not on my radar. I honestly don't care about it. Okay, there's 10,616 different companies. We check every single week to see how many new companies they've added. 10,616 companies. Why would I invest in Palantir if it doesn't fit? It doesn't fit. It just, no. Farm Style Life, we'll take a look at Hormel next time. CDE next time. Play next time. PLTY, hell no. Michael Werner, thank you. Okay, USA Farm Style Life, we'll take a look at Hormel tomorrow. Mike will take a look at LUV, that's Southwest Airlines. Out Eaton, ooh, Jamal, I like Eaton. Side hustle, for example, is it's best to leave, to let it expire or reach a strike price. Okay, side hustle 440. 444, is that right? Yeah, okay. Oh, 44, okay. So side hustle 44. It's always going to be a numbers game. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, first thing I want to know is, what did I buy it for? What did I sell against it? Where's it at now? Where does it look like it's going? What does it mean to me, and what should I do? Stephen Ashmore, thanks for the info on gold. Now, don't get me wrong, Stephen. You know, gold is great for its intended purpose. You know, I don't do gold, I don't do silver, I don't do any precious metals because none of them give me cash flow. Okay? I know gold has been around for thousands upon thousands of years. I get that. Doesn't mean anything to me. I haven't been around for thousands of years. My interest is what is in front of me now and what is going to be available for me for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Okay? Until gold actually coughs up a weekly premium or a weekly dividend, it means nothing to me. Sorry, it's not what I'm looking for. Now, there are other people that have plenty of things to say about gold that might be more interesting for you. But for what I'm doing here, it just doesn't fit. Sorry. Okay, Keen. PLTR has a strike price 260 by 26. Okay, and is currently below 190. What's wrong with those numbers? Nothing's wrong with those numbers, Keen. PLTR just doesn't have any dividends. So if the stock goes down, what am I collecting? Nothing. Okay, see, I like dividend stocks specifically that increase their profits year after year after year. Whereas a scenario, if the stock drops, at least I'm getting a higher dividend every quarter. Okay, so what else are we looking at? Okay. D, love it. Why do you do trades on Monday instead of Friday? Couldn't you get 2 more days premium on Friday? How would you suggest I do that? Okay, because I trade on a weekly basis, and a week where I come from consists of Monday morning to Friday afternoon. And you're right, if I bought on Friday, I get an extra 2 days. But if I bought them on Friday, the options expire on the following Friday. So what do I do on a Thursday or a Friday? It's an interesting question that you have, but you're not really giving me any kind of answer that might be helpful. Okay, because you're right. You know, if I bought on Friday, I get an extra 2 days of time value. But I still have options on the current stocks that I have. So what am I supposed to do with them? Okay, so what you're saying, it makes sense, but you're missing a couple of key factors. What a wonderful tune. Thank you there, Pre-Flipper. Music is life. I want option trending so bad. All right. Pig fillet. How do you know if it's a monthly or a weekly? Uh-oh. I honestly not believe asking that question. Seriously. Okay? Pig fillet. Okay, now I don't want you to feel insulted in any way, shape, or form, but here we go. You ready? How can you tell if it's a weekly or a monthly? Okay, Bitto. 14 November. That's this Friday. 21 November. That's next Friday, 2 Fridays away. 28 November, 3 Fridays away. 5 December, 4 Fridays away. 12 December, 19 December, 26 December, 31 December. Now, you probably get a good idea that those are weeks of the year, right? Weeks of the year. This okay, pick a fillet. November 25, December 25, January 26, March 26, June 26, January 27, January 28. These are months of the year. See, I find it difficult to comprehend the fact that you just asked me, how do I tell the difference between a weekly and a monthly? Well, the monthly are months. November, December, January, March, June. Weekly are weeks. 14 November, 21 November, 28 November, 5 December, so on, so on, so on. That's the difference between a week and a month. Pre-law Fipper. I love the big gulp cup with the flex straw. Yeah, all the chattering is thirsty work. Actually, it's it's honey and lemon for my throat because I'm not used to talking so much. I really wasn't expecting that. How far before the EX date do you look at them? 2 weeks. Thank you. You're welcome. You look at the option chain and see if they have weekly options. Absolutely. Bobby, can you do an analysis on MCO? Tomorrow we can. Which is the best dividend stocks to hold? Paul, terribly sorry. Wrong question. Rahul, Thar, no idea. Awesome work. Thank you. If you like that kind of thing, okay, you should do a top 3 for each night. But what do I know? You're right. I should. I do 5. Why not? Deadwood, suggest me some good long-term stocks for passive income. Okay, so Deadwood Fire. I don't do that. I don't make any suggestions whatsoever. I'm not a long-term investor. I'm a cash flow investor, which means I want cash flow every single week. Side hustle. If you were just starting out and wanted to make 1 or 2% a week and build a bigger bag to diversify. Yeah, that just makes sense. Would you do anything different now than when you first started, or did you stay straight? Okay, yeah, okay. So side hustle. When I first started back in the 90s, okay, I started back in the 90s, okay? I did mostly option trading. I did 125 option trades without losing a single one. I thought that was unbelievable. And then everything turned around and I lost a whole shitload. Is what it is. Okay? Find something that works for you. Something that makes sense for you. Okay? Because we're all different. We're all on a different path. I'm 61. I'm retired. With the money that I have has to last me the rest of my life. Which means I don't have enough to last me 2 years at the current rate that I'm going. But if I get 1% every single week, that money helps pay my bills. So yeah, my strategy is specifically for my 9-year-old daughter. What did you lose it on? Other types of options. Yep. All right, let's keep, what do we got here? All right, Deadwood, got that one. That voice you're referring to, that is your hearing saying that you, that is me tearing through the chat. That's funny. So Willie Johnson just mentioned something. What is on your board for tonight? NSX Garage, sit tight. We're just about ready to call done. I'm almost done with all the questions, and then we're going to take a look at what we got on the board. Just easy options. Okay, sorry about that. D love it. What's going on? Why do you trade on Monday? Okay, we already had that question. Loving Macy's, me too. CELH, isn't that Celsius? Kate, you're welcome. Give me a second. Got to go, but check target earnings. Yep, risky trade. He's right. Okay, so what do we have on the board for this evening? So I answered all the questions. Let's do this. Here we go. Okay, so we have, what the hell is that one? Uh-oh. Yeah, I made them too small, didn't I? Target. Whoops. Target, LNG, CNQ, Ford, Campbell's, Nike, Moderna, and Nokia. That's what we have on the board for tonight. Fantastic stream. Love it here. Thank you, James, for everything you do. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Now, so if anybody has the desire, you can go to any one of the, what do you call those, bios. Just sign in and then just send me your number. I'll give you a call personally. Other than that, we're going to do this all over again tomorrow night. Alrighty then. You guys have a great night. And we will do this again tomorrow. Yay! Done. And now the end is near. And so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, for which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets